felt lucky?
Yeah. Yes.
A few of us. Has anybody ever felt really unlucky? Because that's what this story is about. Somebody who feels unlucky. And that's all it was a feeling. You see, he had just about everything he could need. He lived up high on a mountain in a beautiful redwood house. He had friends. He had everything he needed. But somehow he felt unlucky. And so he asked his friends, how come I'm so unlucky? I never win. I never get chosen. I never am the one. But his friends all told him, well, if you really want to know the answer to that question, you have to go ask the wise woman. Good advice, don't you think? So he asked the wise woman, but she could not answer the question either. She told him, you need to go ask God. God is the only one that can tell you why you're not lucky. Where do I find God? And she said, well, at the edge of the earth. So he walked. He walked east with the sun in his eyes and the sun overhead and the sun at his back. He walked east. He walked east until he came to a field, and in this field he saw wolves. And on the left there were big, furry, ferocious-looking wolves, and on the right there was one scrawny, thin little wolf. He chose the path to the right, and as he passed that thin wolf, the wolf asked him, where are you going? I'm on a journey. I'm going east. I'm going to ask God why I don't have any luck. And the thin little wolf asked him, would you ask him why I'm so thin and scrawny and all of those wolves are so big and ferocious and healthy? Would you ask him that? And the man said, well, of course I'll ask him that. I'm sure that he'll answer your question. I mean, he is God. And so the man continued on his journey. And he walked east. He walked east with the sun in his eyes and the sun overhead and the sun at his back. And he walked until he came to a forest. And in that forest, he walked through beautiful, tall trees. And as he walked through, one leaf came and fell right in front of him. I mean, he couldn't help but miss it. And he looked up to where that leaf came from, and he saw a very thin tree. And that tree asked him, where is it that you travel to? And the man answered, well, I'm going east. I'm going to the edge of the earth. I'm going to meet God. I'm going to ask him why I don't have any luck. Oh, said the tree, would you ask him why I'm so thin and have lost all my leaves and yet I'm surrounded by big, beautiful, healthy trees? Would you ask him that? And the man said, well, of course I'll ask him that. It's God. I mean, I'm sure he has an answer for you. And so he traveled on. He traveled east. He traveled east with the sun in his eyes and the sun overhead and the sun at his back. And he traveled until he came upon a meadow that was beautiful. And in the middle of the meadow, there was a house surrounded by flowers, and that was surrounded by a picket fence. Well, he had to stop. He had to stop, and he knocked on the door, and when the door opened, oh my goodness, it was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. And the woman asked him in and said, please come in and join me for dinner. And they had dinner and wine and a wonderful conversation. And during that conversation, she asked him, where is it that you travel to? And he told her, I travel east. I'm going to the edge of the earth because, you see, I'm going to ask God why I don't have any luck. And the woman asked him, would you ask God why I'm so lonely? Oh, yes, of course I'll ask him. I'm sure he has an answer for you. He is God. And so he continued on his journey. He traveled east with the sun in his eyes, the sun overhead, and the sun at his back, and he came to the edge of the earth. And there was God, floating on a cloud just like you would imagine. Oh, it was magnificent. And the man stepped right up to the edge of the earth, and he asked God, I've come to ask you why I don't have any luck. God folded his arms and said in his godly voice, you have all kinds of luck. You just don't see it. You have to keep your eyes open. Look around you. It's there. Oh, said the man, I do have luck. I just have to keep my eye. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep my eyes open and find my luck. Okay, I will keep my eyes open. And just as he turned to travel west, he said, oh, wait a minute. I have some more questions for you. And God said, stop. I know the questions. Remember, I'm God. Oh, yes, of course. So what do I tell them? And God floated on his cloud over to the man, and he whispered in his ear, and the man said, got it. Right. Thank you so much. I'm going to go look for my luck right now. And that man, he turned and he traveled west, until he came to that meadow. The meadow with the house and the flowers and the picket fence. And when he got there, he had to stop and see the woman. And the woman again invited him in, and they had a wonderful meal and conversation and wine. And she finally worked up the nerve to say, what did God tell you? Oh, God said, I have luck. It's all around me. I just have to open my eyes and find it. It's there for me. Well, what did God tell you about me, about why I'm so lonely? Oh, yeah. He told me that you're lonely because you're alone. And what you need to do is to marry the first nice man that comes your way. Will you marry me? She said. Will you marry me? I mean, then I wouldn't be lonely. And oh, I'm sorry, he said. I can't possibly marry you. I've got to go find my luck. I have to be on my way, but thanks anyway, and good luck to you. I'll send the first nice young man over to see you. And so he left. And he traveled west. And he traveled until he got to that forest, the one with all the big trees and the one scrawny tree. And as he passed underneath that tree, the tree stopped and asked him, excuse me, did you see him? Did you ask? Oh, yes, I saw him. It was magnificent. And you know what? I do have luck. I have luck, and it's all around me. I just have to look for it, and so that's why I'm going to look for it. But what about me, said the tree. Did you ask him why I'm so thin and have no leaves? Oh, yeah, that's right. He told me that you're thin because you have no nutrition getting to your roots. And that's because there's a treasure chest buried at your roots, and you can't get what you need. And the tree said, oh, a treasure chest? Well, you know what? Some workers had left some shovels over there. Perhaps you could dig it up, and then I could get some. And the man said, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. You see, I'm on my way, and I've got to go find my luck, but good luck to you, and I'll send somebody to help you as soon as I meet them, but good luck to you. And the man left, going west. And he went west until he came to that field where the wolves were. And he chose the path where the one thin wolf was. And he stopped to talk to that wolf, and the wolf asked him, did you ask God? Did you ask him? Did you see him? Oh, I did. I certainly did. And you know what? I've got luck. I just have to keep my eyes open and look around me because it's there for me. But what about me? Asked the wolf. What about me? Oh, yeah. He told me that what you should do is that you need more nutrition, and you need to eat the first stupid animal that comes your way. And that is what the wolf did.